Yo, I heard so there's a special topics course on video game development going on right here, and they've got a video games expo that they're doing here at the end of the semester to show off the things they made. So come on, let's go check it out. So this is my friend Aaron.
Hello.
He made a game for this class and it looks really lit. Could you walk me through it here? I got a controller. I think I'm that guy in the bottom.
You are, yeah. So I decided to call it Throw Punch because my original idea was that it's like a platform fighter game where your only moves are throwing things and punching stuff.
No way.
But due to just resource and time constraints, it more or less just became like, can I create a state machine system that kind of mimics how platform fighters work? So above each player's head, you can see that they say what state they're currently in.
Okay.
So other games, you might have movement logic like when you want to jump, it checks if you're currently touching the ground. In this, instead, it only lets you jump when you're in a jumpable state that's grounded.
Okay.
So each state is implemented as a class that other states can extend.
That's how you can have the state machine be in one of those.
Right.
Because they implement that.
So like, for
class.
instance, the grounded states, like state idle, walk, landing,
Those are like extend
crouch.
state, probably.
Yeah, these all extend grounded state.
Oh,
so,
grounded state, okay.
So all of these, when you're, so all of these, whenever you're not moving, it applies the same logic for like friction on the ground and stuff.
All right.
Same thing with any like falling states that are airborne.
So quick question.
Yeah?
I've made a platformer game before. Thanks, JJ.
Yeah.
I've made a platformer game before, and something that I ran into a lot was that like, it's hard to tell exactly when I should disallow the player from jumping.
Yeah.
Is that something you ran into a lot?
No, actually, that's one of the big things that states solves. So
because like at any given point, the player could walk off a platform, right?
That's true.
And now I'm like, great, now they're falling, and now they can't jump, right?
Right. So that's actually something I implemented just yesterday, so pretty late. But it was super simple with states. Basically, each state has like 4 different sets of logic. It has logic executed every frame. It has transition logic, which is also executed every frame, but which is specifically responsible for like, when should I move to a different state?
Okay.
So for idle, transition logic is like when you move the stick side to side, then you should transition to walk, right?
Yeah.
So there's those two, and then there's also a function that each state has, which is called when it enters a state.
Okay.
And called when it exits that state.
Okay.
But those functions can receive the previous state or the new state as a parameter.
Oh,
to have, it's called just-in-time jumping, where it's like...
Oh, I know, where you give them some grace period.
Exactly, yeah. So instead of having a timer or grace period or anything, what I do is when I... Actually, technically, this is a little bit janky.
I'm going to do some parkour.
So there isn't a timer associated with it, actually. So when you transition from a grounded state, when you transition into an airborne state from a grounded state, meaning that it knows you've walked off of a platform rather than like jumping.
I'm going to try this controller.
It gives you an extra jump.
Yeah.
So as you can see, if I like walk off of this platform, I have 2 jumps.
Yeah.
It's kind of a temporary fix because there's some stuff where you probably shouldn't be able to have 2 jumps like this. But yeah. And for some reason, it's just a Mac OS issue. The Nintendo Switch Pro controllers have a little bit of input lag.
Okay. Yeah, I remember I made a game and I made him get a grace period, but mostly because I couldn't code well enough to not do that. So it's not a bug, it's a feature. No, just kidding. That's cool though.
But
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that with me, Aaron. Dude, that sounds like a great game. You made this with Godot engine?
I did, yeah.
Godot engine. That's that game, everyone.
Yep. Oh, also.
Yeah?
Something else made really easy with states. I don't know if you're super into like Smash Bros and stuff.
I've played it before. I'm familiar with the game.
So there are actually 2 jump heights. There you have a full jump and then you have like a short jump.
Okay.
But there's only 2. And if you look really closely, when I hit the jump button, there's a third state that's in between, like being on the ground and being in the air, called jump
landing.
squat.
Oh.
So,
okay, cool.
So jump squat, if you're still holding the button to jump at the end of like 3 frames, then
and that's how it can tell which jump to give you.
Exactly, right?
Nice.
And stuff like that is super easy to do with state machines. So.
Nice. Well, state machines, everyone. Well, all right, Carson, lay it on me. What we got here?
All right, so this is basically it's a turn-based battle kind of vertical slice out of a bigger game. Right now, multi-controller support was a pain.
Okay.
I had to basically roll my own menu system.
Okay.
And it was interesting trying to figure out how to do that. There's not a lot of tangible things going on in the game right now. Mostly it's you attack, other person attacks, and it's just a bunch of effectively like random dice roll back and forth until somebody dies. But I do have a status system in place, so where eventually you're going to be able to do skills, and you'll be able to select from a set of skills, and it'll kind of model it like a tank. It'll be like taking a pill, and that pill will have some kind of concentration that gradually depletes. And it feels kind of novel, so I wanted to try that. Hopefully, sometime in the future, I will have that completely done and ready to show. It's unfortunate it wasn't ready for the public showcase.
So you said differentials, right?
Yes.
Where's the differential? Explain to me how differentials plays into this game.
So, like my my equation up there, so I have it modeling a basically health regeneration or health decay based on the amount of I basically put it into like these categories of like poison and regeneration. And so based on that is how intensively like you'll approach that max. It kind of looks like it looks like an exponential approaching it.
I mean, like I've done some like derivatives and integrals before, so I mean, I don't know how much that applies to differentials.
It applies.
Okay.
It's just basically you're just applying it as an operator. Like if you've done like physics, like Euler's method in physics.
Oh yeah, okay.
Works. Basically, I'm doing that.
Awesome.
But like instead of on a time scale of like seconds, I'm doing it on a time scale of turns.
Oh, okay.
And so what's really nice is I can actually model the behavior of how my players are gonna, what's supposed to happen, and model that using different software or Python or something like that, and say, this is what's gonna happen over so many number of turns. If this player keeps being poisoned at this intensity, they're gonna die about right there. So.
Oh, okay.
There's a level of strategy. Eventually, I also have this audience. That's where the third player was supposed to come in. And they're supposed to have an influence on the battle similar to, it's like inspired by Jackbox games.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. So it's a little bit different twist on the tried and true turn-based battle back and forth.
I like it. And this was, tell us what you used. What tools did you use to make this game?
So it's using Godot engine like everyone else. Well, most everyone else.
Yeah.
And I've integrated it with VS Code, so I've been using VS Code pretty intensively.
Okay, and the language, are you using GD script?
I'm using GD script. I like a lot of the GD script features because Python's my first language.
I heard it's like Python, but with like a way better type system.
Yes, so it's like strongly typed Python, or like more strongly typed Python.
I would quite enjoy that.
Yeah. The sprites I made in an open source software that's a fork of ASE Sprite called Libre Sprite.
Libre Sprite, I've used that before.
Yeah. And it works pretty well. I also recommended a couple other people here to use it as well.
Okay. So Godot engine, VS Code, Libre Sprite.
Oh, actually, I use Mathematica for the math modeling as well.
Mathematica.
That I don't think anyone else used that.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's a unique one. There you go. Well, yeah, this is Carson. Yeah. Say hi to the camera.
Hello.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for showing us your game, bro.
Dude.
Okay. So you guys were a two-person team, but one of you is in computer science and one of you is a graphic designer. So how did both of those play into you creating your game?
So a lot of it was like I was working on some of the coding ideas behind the game and like getting the software working, and then Devin, my partner over here, was doing a lot of the design elements. He was helping with some of the sounds, some of the design, the color theory behind it, making sure the text was visible, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
So how did that really impact what kind of game that you guys wanted to create, and what kind of led you to the kind of this decision making behind an AI text-based game?
So originally we just wanted to do a text-based game because I've done a couple in the past for other classes, and I thought it'd be cool to give it kind of a visual element. And so we wanted to take a shot at it, and Brother Manley actually was the one who suggested bringing AI into it. So we decided to bring in a compiled language called Ollama. It's like ChatGPT downloaded onto your computer basically. And so it's the other character. It's like the narrator.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And so did you run into any issues when working with all of this new software?
Yes. I think the biggest issue for us was Ollama, the narrator, basically the AI, kept forgetting where you were in the game, because there's different, it's about like a land that you're in. You're in this like magical land, medieval land type place. And so there's different regions you can go visit, and there's dragons and enemies that you can fight, and there's like an evil wizard that you're trying to fight. But so Ollama would forget with like each new response it gave you, it would forget the previous response. So you'd be like in the middle of fighting a dragon and go, okay, now you're talking to a villager. No, I'm not.
That's actually wrong, but okay.
But all right.
Yeah, so how did you fix that challenge?
We didn't fully get it fixed, but we were able to give Ollama a different prompt, basically, that tells it like, hey, just remember your previous response and where you're at. And it sometimes works really well and sometimes doesn't, so it's still kind of iffy.
Okay, that makes sense. And then can you explain a little bit more about the gameplay? And how does that work from like a user standpoint?
Yeah, so from a user standpoint, basically, we start the game. We can actually restart it if you
go
want
for
to
it.
see.
Yeah, you can go ahead and sit down and display.
Yeah, so there's a little reset button up at the top, and you can type into this little bar down here whatever you want to do. So it'll give you an original story prompt. The prompt starts out, says, welcome to Path of the Forgotten. You're a hero from a long time ago, lost to the ages, awakened to bring hope to a realm overshadowed by evil. Your past is a mystery, but your destiny is clear. Face the darkness, fight its minions, restore balance to the land. And then it goes on a little bit, and it says, like, what will you do first? So then it's up to you. You can type whatever you want. So I'm going to say, I want to fight a dragon. And it will respond.
Oh, I love that.
You spot a magnificent golden dragon perched atop a hill in the distance. And it tells you the name of the dragon, because we have a couple of characters programmed into the codes. The AI knows at least a few characters and can give you names of people and dragons and goblins and whatever you want to do.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And so is there like a resolution? Like how many times can they input something until like you reach the end?
You can keep going as long as you want.
Oh, that's so cool.
So the game, we never programmed an end into it technically, so you could play it as long as you wanted to. You could come back to it at some point and continue playing if you wanted to like pause at some point. Or you could just hit the reset button if you get tired of the story.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And so I know graphics were like a really big thing. So if you were to continue working on this project, what kind of other things did you and your partner discuss on implementing?
Oh, the biggest one that we really wanted to do, we looked into doing the coding for it, and it was just going to be too much work too quickly, so we didn't have time to do it. But it was going to read keywords in responses and keywords in like your responses as well, based on location or if you're fighting or something like that, and then change the color of the background and the flames.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. And then, so for this, what kind of frameworks and languages did you use for this project?
We mostly use GDScript because I know Python best. The game we wanted it to base off of, which is a game that I made in a different programming class, was in C#.
Oh yeah.
So for the first week or two, we were trying to do it in C#, and it just was not working out because Godot doesn't have great support for C#.
Oh, okay.
So we decided to switch to GDScript because it's really similar to Python, and from there it was a breeze.
Okay, that's really cool. And so when using Godot, what was one of the things that you feel like you had to learn really fast to just get your project up and running?
So the hardest part for me was I like just having all my code in one place.
Right.
And I know how code works, and it's easy for me to see the organization in code. On Godot, it's all visually coded, basically.
Yeah.
And you have scripts based on different nodes you go to and stuff like that that you can go and edit. But most of it, you're doing the coding in visual blocks.
Okay.
And that was so weird for me to get the hang of.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can imagine. Okay, well that's awesome. Thank you so much. This is so cool.
Thank you.
It's really awesome what you guys were able to achieve.
Yeah, it was super fun to make.
Yeah.
So we had fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, nice to meet you, Garrett.
All right, we're here with Jeremy. Jeremy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jeremy Robertson. I'm an English major. I was with a buddy. He said, hey, come over to our game dev class. So that's what I did. And then this is what I made. What all do y'all want to check?
Let's just take a look at it.
Sure. Do you want to go ahead and play it yourself, or?
I can play it, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at this.
So I have some pretty rudimentary instructions right down here.
All right.
I have 3 weapons. You select them with.
These are the instructions.
Yeah, they're
I love
they're
it.
a little wacky, I guess.
No, that's
Handwriting-wise.
great. These are English major instructions. Too.
Exactly. So it kind of starts fast.
Okay.
So this is it. You move with up and down. There you go.
Okay.
And then you have 3 guns that
Yeah.
you select with 1, 2, and 3. Space to shoot.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And is it cool if we...
And then
Oh, space to shoot.
Yeah, you're good,
Sorry.
you're good. No,
I
you're
should have
chilling,
listened to
you're
the instructions.
No,
All
you're
right,
chilling, you're
third
chilling.
time's a charm. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's kind of like Duck Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
he's
now-
coming.
So each gun, there's only 1 weapon that works on 1 guy. So there's 3 guys and 3 guns. You have to match them up.
Gotcha.
It also would have been, I am an English major, but I kind of poorly did the instructions, so
No, you're fine, dude.
kind of a figure it out yourself thing.
Oh,
but,
it moves fast.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Would it be cool if after we're done with all of this, we could get like some B-roll?
Yeah,
That way,
100%.
we can overlay it while we're talking about it.
yeah.
So, what was your thought process in making this?
Well,
stand back
I don't know. I think I've always thought it'd been fun to make a game, but I didn't know where to start. So I thought
Yeah.
I'd come here, make this bad boy. I really love Warhammer, 40K kind of stuff. So that's kind of the thought process behind the designs. And I thought I'd start something small, so I made something super basic, just kind of old Flash gamey. I love those kind of games, so that was the vibe I was going for.
So you have experience with video games. Have you ever had any previous coding experience before this?
I've coded very little. I've coded in Python,
Okay.
and that was it.
Yeah.
So 99% of this was help from ChatGPT and then my professor, so Brother Manley.
Yeah.
And then my buddy that kind of introduced me to the course. He helped me a lot with coding, figuring out kind of the structure of how Godot's code works. So that was super helpful.
Was it kind of intimidating coming into an engineering major
Oh my
level
gosh.
course?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. I am used to like normal sentence structure, and coding is not. It's a language, but it is so unlike talking language and like normal English stuff. So it was very, very intimidating, but still a great time.
Yeah. So what would kind of be your advice for other students and other majors looking to branch into some coding classes?
I'd say if you can find a good buddy that can be like a mini mentor for you to like help you figure out just coding systems and the way code works in general, and then also ChatGPT is such a good friend, frankly.
Yes.
Learning, and then if you're gonna run on a specific engine, then look at the documentation for it. And then you can use ChatGPT to translate that into like understandable language. But it's so helpful to look at the tutorials on Godot and talk with people that know it. So yeah.
Well, hey man, we appreciate your time. It's cool that you made a whole game by yourself.
Thank you very much.
This is Jeremy, and well, hey guys, we're here with James. James, which game did you develop?
So I developed this game. Is called Icososphere.
Yeah.
It's a platformer adventure game, kind of based like on games like Celeste or like. Do you remember those like 2000s Flash games on like cool math games?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I kind of had that in mind a bit.
That's awesome. So what was kind of your thought process when building this? What kind of engine did you use?
Okay, well, all of us use the Godot engine in order to build our projects, and it was new to me, so I had to learn a lot this semester.
Yeah.
But I found some great tutorials online to help me get like a base for my project, and then once I had that, I could implement whatever fun stuff I wanted to make.
How long did it take you to kind of get it to a working spot?
Oh, that took me maybe 2 months.
Wow, 2 months? That's
yeah,
crazy.
I've been working on it all semester.
Have you kind of just been working on it on your own?
Yeah, I did the programming on my own, but I had some help with the art. And actually, this person here, my sister.
That's why you laughed? That's hilarious.
Yeah, she's the one who did the character art for me. We came up with the design right here.
Okay.
Actually.
Let's take a look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of how we got from point A to point B.
Oh, wow. So she drew concept art. She gave you beta art. Oh, that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just kind of created this game. What's the goal of the game? You want to kind of run through like how it plays?
Right. Well, I didn't have much time to implement the story that I wanted to with it, and it's supposed to be a demo. But if I were to expand this, it would take place on this futuristic planet where androids were keeping maintenance on the planet itself, but their AI systems had malfunctioned, and the character you're playing as is sent into the planet to fix these androids, and so you'd be fighting the stuff inside.
Okay, cool. So you're kind of like in some sort of industrial, like factory type setting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's cool. Well, would it be cool if we do a little live demo and just kind of play through it for a second?
Sure. Do you want to play?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
You can kind of guide me through. So
Sure.
what do I do right here on the...
Just push enter or click the play button. Both work.
Cool. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. This actually is very visually...
Oh, careful.
I died. Let's try that again. Oh, nice. I like how you kind of have a lot of like visual guides to help people know where to go. That's actually really nice.
I was playtesting this with a few people, and it was a little hard for some of them to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And I was getting a little tired of telling them, so I tried my best to incorporate some arrows and the TVs that give the tutorial on them.
Dude, this is phenomenal for a 2-month project. What other things did you find in playtesting that you were like, we got to change that?
Let's see. Well, some of the levels I ended up making a bit too hard. So I had to pare them down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, oh, careful with the slime, yeah.
See that? I was wondering what that was. That's good, that's good. Yeah, I was talking to another guy, and he said he kind of had the same problem where when they first made the game, like, the levels were just way too hard.
Yeah, I think that just naturally happens, especially when you're messing with the program so much, you get so used to it, and you forget what it's like for someone who hasn't seen your project yet to...
Well, it happens to the best of us. That is super cool, though. Yeah, let me get out of the chair and... what was I going to ask? See, I hate it when I have a thought. What?
B-roll?
B-roll? What?
Get his gameplay.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got to wrap up the interview and then is there anything else you'd like to leave with people before we head out?
Well, I'm working on some other projects too, actually. I'm working on a puzzle adventure game that is currently called Spirit of the Forest. The idea behind that is you're playing as a girl who lost her 2 siblings in a forest, and you're looking for them, and you're doing some puzzle solving in order to get there. And I'm also developing an RPG called Comet Festival, also with my sister. And the story for that one's a lot more complicated, but we're trying to flesh it out.
You ever thought of making games for a living?
I have. It would be something that I would really like to do, but I don't know if I would be able to do it because there's a very competitive market out there, and with all of the like computer science and software engineering jobs that there are ones that just pay a lot better and have better job security.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been kind of weighing my options a little bit because this is very fun for me to do.
Yeah.
Compared to like regular programming stuff, but I might have a better career path if I became a full-fledged software engineer.
That makes sense.
I've still got some time to figure it out.
Right, of course. I mean, we all got the time in the world, right?
Yeah.
Would you recommend this as a hobby for other program enthusiasts?
Oh, absolutely. This was so much fun. And you learn so much about how computers work and how to like interact with the player and all sorts of stuff like that, really. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you later. All right, so we're here with Brother Manley, who is the professor over this video game developing class. Brother Manley, what was kind of your idea going into this? Did you create this class?
Yeah, I championed the class, and the department was kind enough to give me the opportunity to teach it. And it started out pretty loose, but it's been developing over time, and until today, it's culminated in this experience here today, and we just anticipate it getting much better.
We've seen a lot of students here. Do you think that with this exposure and stuff, there'll be even more students that sign up for the class in the future?
That is our hope. That was our goal today. So at this point, next semester's class is full. We have a little bit of a wait list growing, and I hope more and more want to do this. And by the way, more outside the department. If there's a way, I don't know how this will happen in the future, but if other students in other majors are interested in participating, then we really want them to be able to come and do that.
I mean, we saw that today. There was an English major here today that successfully developed a video game.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah. So what are some real-life workplace applicable skills you feel that students could develop in this class?
Well, one of the major challenges with writing a game like this, using an engine like these, is to understand software architecture much better, all the moving parts, how do they connect, in a way that you don't often get with regular course assignments. So not only are they thinking about rendering, but they're thinking about audio, they're thinking about physics, they're thinking about input, and a host, and how all these pieces communicate. So I think that's one of the major outcomes of this particular course, is just to just a more comprehensive understanding of slightly larger systems and how they interact with each other. And incidentally, we had the one game that was connected to an AI backend, which was, that's connecting a couple different kinds of systems and using some cutting edge technology, which I thought was great.
Yeah. And not only that, but at the end of the class, they have a real world project that they can put on their resume that they can bring up with people who are looking to hiring. So all around, there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah,
it seems.
I agree. And those are all wrapped up in the purpose of the course.
Well, thank you for your time, Brother Manley. And if you guys are interested in the course, make sure to look for it when you sign up for classes. And that's a wrap.
Thank you.